Hello friends, welcome to another heart-touching story on our channel. In today's video, you'll not only hear a beautiful story, but you'll also learn new English words and expressions that will help you grow in both language and life. This story teaches us something that can truly change the way we live: the power of positive thinking. So listen carefully till the end, and let's begin. Once upon a time, in a quiet little village, surrounded by green fields and tall palm trees, there lived an old woman named Meera. Meera was over 70 years old. Her silver hair shone in the sunlight. Her face was full of wrinkles, but her eyes sparkled like the morning dew. Everyone in the village knew her. She was known not for her wealth, but for her warm smile and peaceful nature. Even when life was difficult, Meera never complained. She lived alone in a small mud house beside a giant banyan tree. Her husband had passed away long ago, and she had no children. Yet her heart was always full of gratitude. Every morning she would light a small lamp, sit under the banyan tree, and greet people passing by with kindness and calm words. Children loved her, women respected her, and men admired her gentle wisdom. One cloudy afternoon, a young woman named Annayiah came running to Meera's house. Her eyes were swollen from crying. She looked tired, worried, and broken. "Mother Meera," she said, "I don't know what to do. My husband went to the city to find work, but it's been months. No letter, no money, no news. My children are hungry. I can't sleep at night." Meera looked at her gently. She didn't speak right away. Instead, she offered Annayiah some water and said softly, "Sit down, my child. Tell me, what do you think will happen?" Annayiah wiped her tears and said, "I think something bad has happened. Maybe he didn't find work. Maybe he forgot about us." Meera smiled kindly and said, "My dear, when we think bad thoughts, our hearts grow heavy. But when we think good thoughts, our hearts become light, and good things start to happen." Annayiah frowned. "But how can I think good thoughts when everything around me is bad?" Meera chuckled softly and said, "Let me tell you a story. Once there was a poor man named Ravi. He had no home, no money, and no family. He sat by the river every day, crying and cursing his fate. One evening, an old traveler stopped beside him and asked, "Why are you crying, young man?" Ravi said bitterly, "I have nothing. How can I be happy?" The traveler smiled and said, "You have the river, the trees, the wind, the stars. You have life itself. If you only think about what you don't have, you will always be sad. But if you start noticing what you do have, you will find peace." Ravi looked around and saw the sunset painting the sky with golden light. He heard birds returning home. For the first time in months, he smiled. From that day, he stopped crying. He began to work, sing, and smile, and soon his life changed. Meera looked at Annayiah and said, "You see, my dear, the man's life didn't change by magic. It changed because his thinking changed." "When we think positively," she continued, "we don't change the world around us. We change ourselves, and that's enough to make miracles happen." Annayiah whispered, "So, if I think good thoughts, Will my life change too? Meera nodded gently. Yes. When you wake up each morning, say to yourself, "Today will be a good day," and it will be, because that thought gives you strength, patience, and hope. Annayiah smiled weakly and said, "I'll try." Days turned into weeks. Annayiah followed Meera's advice. Every morning she said, "Today will be a good day." She worked hard, took care of her children, and waited with hope. Then, one morning, a postman arrived. He handed her a letter. Her hands trembled as she opened it. It was from her husband. He had found a good job in the city and was sending money home. Annayiah cried, not from sadness, but from joy. She ran to Meera's house, her heart full of gratitude. Meera listened, smiling quietly, and said, "You see, my child, when we fill our mind with light, darkness has no place to stay." As days passed, other villagers heard about Meera's wisdom. Farmers, workers, and mothers came to her for advice. She always said the same thing: "Think good thoughts, and good will come." Slowly, the entire village began to change. People smiled more, helped one another, and faced problems with calm courage. Even when it rained too little or work was hard, they remembered Meera's words. The story of Meera teaches us a timeless truth. Happiness doesn't come from what we have, but from what we think. Our thoughts shape our feelings, and our feelings shape our life. So whenever life feels heavy, pause, breathe, and tell yourself, "Today will be a good day," because positive thinking is not about ignoring problems. It's about facing them with faith, hope, and peace.